Hello, I'm Stu Rabinowitz. I'm the rabbi that oversees all licensing deals. And it brought to my attention through an email that Jake Letzoff is a Jewish fella and he wants to be the quarterback at BYU. I said, this is a vakakta, must be Meshuggah. So I brought the whole mishpacha in. Oh, we had a nice meal. I'm ungeshvollen from the meal, let me tell you. I called Hoy, of course. He's on the board, of course. And we came to an understanding that you can use the quarterback in the BYU, but you can never use half Mormon, half Jew. We already got one of those.
And welcome in to the Boyle Theater, everybody.
That's beautiful. Why does everybody want to be a half Mormon, half Jew?
I'm
telling you, they steal our material.
They
all
absolutely.
The time.
I could not believe you were flying somewhere. Scott Oshman, Tim Boyle, by the way. Welcome to the Boyle Theater.
Evening.
We're on the YouTube.
Look at that.
We're on the YouTube. No
I
free
like
ads, but there's a beverage in my hand.
That's not water.
For those listening, we're gonna we'll be on STSPN. Go to STSPN's YouTube. That's where you'll find this garbage. Otherwise, same as normal on the pod. You can listen to it everywhere.
Anywhere you get your apps.
Yeah. We haven't been on since August 22nd of 2024.
And that is what we would call a shonda.
Mm-hmm.
Look that one up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yiddish word of the week. It's a shonda.
So can you imagine the Jews that got Stu Rabinowitz? That's all he does. He's all licensing deals. Everything has to go through him.
I was, it's fun. I was claiming it was half Jew. I was half Jewish before it was even popular to claim that.
You were.
Years ago.
You were. I'm not used to the mic being the other way, so
it's a little different.
It is different.
It's a little different. But yeah, it's been a bit.
It's been a minute.
And most of it's my fault, except for last week in a rare turn of events. I was actually available to do a pod, and you were gone. You were traveling.
I happened to be traveling the one time. You've been, I think, 99% your fault.
Yeah, I'd take, yeah. But at least it's not all my fault. But you weren't just gone you were gone like a full week. So there was like a whole week we could have done it.
I'm sorry. Would you like to review your travel schedule?
I did go to Italy.
You went to freaking Italy for 11 days or 12 days. I don't even remember.
It was something like that.
Then before Italy, you had like 7 trips before that. You're in Boise State, bougie Boyle down there watching the Cougs get beat. I'm still pissed about that.
I had a stint where I was on a plane 7 times in 11 days.
What's your mileage up to?
About 88,000.
And then you're going to Cali tomorrow as we're recording.
I am, yeah.
Well,
but by the way, Italy, if you haven't been, you got to go.
I haven't, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I hear it's nice. I know. I just talked to somebody else. I'll be gone. I'm going to Greece for 2 weeks. I'm like, I hate
Greece
you.
Greece is nice too, but Italy's better.
Oh, Greece is nice too? Oh, because you've been to Greece.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Big timer.
I'm country dropping right now. But yeah, Italy, fabulous. The food is rated #1 in the world for a good reason.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And by the way, you know where did you go in Portugal where you said everything was so cheap? Was it
Lisbon, everything, but Salema. Yeah.
Well, Italy's a lot like, believe it or not, what people don't realize is you can get like a glass of wine for like $5 and pizzas are like $9. I found it to be really cheap in Italy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, he goes on this voyage and he checks in on the text message other than sports updates that he wanted. How's the trip going? This is all I got back from you. Everything's so cheap. That's literally the only text I got.
That's what you were doing in Portugal. You bragged about Portugal being so cheap.
Well, I'm related to Stu Rabinowitz.
It's $1. This is $1. This is like a glass of wine. We go, the whole family goes out, and it's like $40.
Well, you're a half Jew. I'm a half Jew.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not half. Actually, I think I'm full.
Oh, you're full. Yeah,
although I'm such a bad Jew, I might be down to half.
That's why you went to the cheaper place in Portugal.
Yeah. So yes, you went to there. I do. I have an existential threat. I don't know if you want to start since we've been gone.
Well, I want a little tidbit about it. Funny little tidbit about. Well, they lost our luggage, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, believe me, we heard.
Yeah. So we were without luggage for almost 2 days, about a day and 3/4 or whatever. So we had to go buy all kinds of you got to go buy underwear.
Gucci? Did you go buy Gucci?
No, we went to actually the cheap place, but we had insurance, so it's going to get all that's going to get reimbursed to us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
By the way, listener, you're not hearing PM, the producer Mark, because he couldn't make it tonight.
Well, he was in Italy too, by the way.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Everybody around me is highfalutin going to Europe. They're at this event, that event. Mark's at the Alabama game. I mean, everybody's just living a leisure life.
Columbus, Ohio, or something.
Oh yeah, I went to Bryan, Ohio, and then Aurora, Ohio. Oh yeah,
I'm really like it's like Little Italy.
Jesus. Actually, they have a great Italian restaurant there. No joke.
Very good. But
Anyway,
they lose our luggage. So I'm standing in Florence, this little tiny airport in Florence, and we're trying to get our luggage, and it's gone. It's a lost cause. They already had a claim started because they knew it didn't make the connection. Some other lady that came in from Chicago is standing right next to me. They lost her luggage too. And she's like, and we start talking for a minute, and she's like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from a little town called Snohomish, Washington." She's like, "Oh my God, I was born and raised there. Went to Snohomish High School."
Go Panthers!
Of all places,
that's crazy.
And she was on a different flight.
That's crazy. The only way my reaction is not. He already told me the story, so I wasn't like. My reaction was as good.
Thanks for the acting job.
You're welcome. Oh my God, that's unbelievable! What are the odds?
Well, what are the odds? I mean,
low.
Snohomish, and I'm in Florence, Italy, and
that is crazy. It's a small world there, Bougie.
That's the cliche. Right?
It is. That is unbelievable, though.
Yeah.
Any other tidbits? It's cheap, and you met somebody from your hometown. Anything else you got?
Oh my God! We don't have time to go into all.
Wait, you get 45 minutes. We did that for Portugal.
You did about 45 minutes. No, I'll just say that Florence was amazing. Italy's just amazing because of all the architecture, and it's all the 2,000-year-old buildings or whatever, and you got Pompeii that got buried by the volcano like 2,000 years ago. They just discovered it like in the late 1800s, and they're unburying it now, and it was like this beautiful, sophisticated city with fast food restaurants and
that's
shopping
that's a great
malls,
story. That's an unbelievable story.
So that's pretty amazing. And the Amalfi Coast with Capri and Positano. And
how's your Italian?
Buongiorno.
That's about all. That literally, you're there for like 2 weeks, and that's all you got.
Here's the problem: we're spoiled. Everybody speaks English.
That's okay. You gotta get the ciao, buongiorno.
If I was in Spain, I would have been okay because I can do a little bit of Spanish.
You even get the attitude. You got to talk with your hands. You got to get up. You got to get.
Yeah, I got to get.
Doesn't everybody yell at everybody?
Not real. No.
Oh, okay.
No, but I got to tell you, the Italians are kind of little people. They're smaller than you are.
Are they?
They're all, and I don't get it. I think we talked about this. Everybody's kind of tiny, but they drink wine all the time. They're eating pizza and carbs and pasta, and there's gelato shops everywhere.
They drink and eat like just fiends, and they have way less disease. They live longer, and they're healthier for some reason. And by the way, they're smoking.
Everybody's got a lung dart there.
Oh yeah, lung dart.
But it's amazing. They eat and drink like Vikings, and they're all these little people that live to be 100. I don't get it. But their food there, it doesn't have all the preservatives.
Exactly. The wine doesn't have all the schmutz in it.
Apparently, you can drink all kinds of wine and never be hungover.
Yes.
I was a bad example because I'm never get hungover.
Yeah, anyway. I know. He's a freaking cockroach.
But you look at let's just say you're taking a package of Ritz crackers or something.
Wow,
the ingredients are like 10 things in there, where in the United States it's 7 inches deep. And
this is why we have
4,000
allergies. That's why we have all this stuff here.
Agree. So anyway,
would you like to hear? Anyway, in all seriousness, it sounds like a phenomenal trip. I was excited for you. You sent great pictures. I was really happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. Good trip.
Yeah. Do you want to hear my existential threat?
I can't believe you've
10:39 in. I know. I've really been. This has been bothering me. This has been stirring. This has been simmering under my belly.
Let's hear it.
Oh, I got to belch. When did the backer-inners start?
The who? The backer-inners?
Every time I just am trying to go to the grocery store, and I'm going to get into my Jerry Seinfeld, okay? I'm going to get into a little Jerry here. I'm not going to lie. What in the fuck? I'm just trying to go to the grocery store. I'm just trying to get a parking spot. No, I got to wait 25 goddamn minutes for some heat. So it doesn't even matter if it's a huge truck or not. I got to back into the spot. Everybody's backing into the parking spots. And you know what? It's just costing everybody more time. And I don't know when this started. When did this start?
Well, I'd say it's fairly more of a recent phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's funny. Mindy's going to crack up when she hears this because she complains about.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
She's like, what are people doing? She can barely
Everybody's-
pull in forward, let alone backwards.
I mean, it's because it started. Did this start when the backup cameras came, or?
Well, probably that. But if you have a truck or something, like if you're in a big truck or something, it's much easier to back in, so you can do the Wally whirl.
I don't understand, but it's not good for everybody else who has to sit there and wait 20 minutes.
Truck care about anybody else?
Yes. It drives me crazy. I mean, everywhere you go now, I'm just trying to park a car and I got to wait. Everybody's the backer inners. Everybody's a backer inner.
It's because you got the Barbie mobile, which you don't.
I don't even know what I have the big Sub.
Oh, well, you never get to drive that.
Well, I do have it tonight.
That's because the wife's out of town.
I know.
But normally you got that little Barbie mobile.
Well, I love that car to park. It doesn't matter. I still got to wait for all the backer inners. I don't understand when the backer inners started. What are we doing? What are the backer inners?
You can park the Barbie mobile blindfolded.
No, it's great, actually. If you're going into tight spaces, it's fantastic. Anyway, existential threat is the backer inners. I'm tired of you people. Stop backing into everything.
Duly noted.
You're causing problems for everybody else.
I gotta admit, I do it a lot.
Why?
Sometimes it's just so much easier.
It's easier to
look
get
at
out.
A spot and you go, oh, I need to back in there because it's just. Because sometimes getting out's going to be just
okay.
It's going to be a trek.
I don't want to give away your age, but you spent 35 years not backing into spaces.
Oh, that's not exactly true. I've always been pretty good at backing into spaces.
Yeah, but we didn't growing up. Nobody backed into spaces. They had huge cars.
Well, I think it depends on
No.
It all depends on what they were up against.
Are you serious? I grew up with a Chrysler Cordoba. The thing was the size of this room. It was
Chrysler. Isn't that the one with the genuine Corinthian leather?
Yeah, Corinthian leather. The Chrysler Cordoba.
It has the one thing you need in a car. Everything.
Exactly. Everything.
Wasn't that Ricardo Montalban?
Yeah, it was Ricardo Montalban. The plane. It was everything. But that thing was a tank. Did I back into a spot? No. I went in like everybody else does.
The Jews don't back into spots. That's what
Are you good? No. What?
The Jews pull forward into spots.
If it costs less, we might.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway. That's my existential threat.
Okay,
all right. Do we have to talk about the depressing news?
Yeah, I'll tee it up for you.
All right.
We do have some depressing news in all seriousness. One of our first loyal listeners,
probably listener number one.
Yeah, you can tee it. You can take it from.
No, go ahead.
Oh
no, go ahead.
Okay, your father-in-law, Big Al, our friend of the program, passed away a few weeks ago now, right? Yeah. He was in hospice for quite a while, hung on for much longer than people thought he would.
Shout out to big Bob Kylan, not Mark Hyland. But Mark Hyland was texting, and everybody's been unbelievable through. He had a form of blood cancer, because nobody wants to tell you how people die. I was like, it's, got a form of blood cancer. It went downhill, but then he kind of hung on for a while, and it was just a roller coaster ride. But anyway, shout out to the faithful 48 of Bob Kylan, who's just tremendous. Came up to visit him all the time, spent some great time. He loved the show, and not so much, actually. I think he listened because he was related.
Now, in fairness, he would listen to the show. The second you published it, he'd be listening, and then he'd want to know when we were doing another one.
I know.
And unfortunately, you had to wait a long time.
He did. So a huge shout out to Big Al. Raise the glass to old Big Al. Again, he loved the Huskies. He loved the Mariners.
I got on his hand-me-down list late in his life.
We got the chair over here, which you can't really see in frame, but maybe we'll show that. I have the chair as well. I got some jackets out of it. I'm not going to lie.
I never did get a Patagonia out of it.
Well, you're not the right size.
I know. I need an XL.
Yeah. Anyway.
See, you guys are little people.
We are. We're the little people. So anyway, Big Al, love you. The guy loves sports. He loved him some sports.
And for some reason, he liked our sports podcast, which I don't.
Well, I think his son-in-law had something to do with it. But he kept saying, you guys are getting better.
But he did always say that he always kind of said he agreed with me.
Oh, yeah, always.
I know.
Always agreed with you.
Thanks, Big Al. I appreciate it.
Yes. Speaking of that, if we want to start since we've been gone, I mean, again, does people care about baseball? Do you want to talk about the M's disaster season?
Well, we're going to spend
We got to take a
minute on
break.
it.
We got to take a
Okay.
break.
All right, we got to get some
Let's take a
vittles.
break. We got to get some vittles.
By the way, good job on the vittles tonight. You kind
Thank you.
of compliments you.
Well, your list was outstanding. All right, we'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Diana from Cebu City, Philippines, and I'm listening to Scott and Tim's Sports Show.
All right, we're back. As soon as I hit record, I had to belch.
Classic.
I had the greps. You know, from greps.
Well, it's because you're ungerswollen.
I'm not quite ungerswollen. Okay, let's just touch on baseball. Okay, the Seattle Mariners once again break your heart. And speaking of Al, that's the one goddamn thing I wanted for Albert was to see his team get to the World Series before he reached his end, which
In
I didn't
fairness,
mention.
we may not even make that.
I know, but he died.
We're-
He's 82 years old and he didn't get it.
Just that's pathetic. Who knows when that's gonna? We're the only team that hasn't been there, right?
We're the only team.
The only team.
Only team. So as we record this, the Dodgers and Yankees are in a well. The first game was insane.
Oh.
Extra innings, walk-off grand slam.
Grand slam and extra innings never happened before.
Never happened. Freddie Freeman, who had a hurt ankle. I mean, it was Kirk Gibson. I love the clips.
It was even more so because Kirk Gibson wasn't a grand slam and it wasn't in extra innings. I don't think. I think it was in the ninth.
It was
bottom.
it was
a walk off.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was spectacular. Ratings, I know you're asking.
Yeah.
About 12 million. That's like a decent Thursday night football game.
Yeah, but it's better probably than previous World
Series. It is, yes.
Yeah.
And obviously two big markets. But the Mariners, I don't even know what to say about the Mariners. They lose by one game, or they missed the playoffs in one game.
Second year in a row.
It feels like I guess they went in 22, so
they
second year in a row.
Didn't they miss it by one game last year too? Seems like 4 out of the last 5 years.
It seems like every year yes, of course. Missed it by that much.
Here's the issue I have with it. Besides just everything,
do you have an issue? Don't you have like what issue don't you have?
Well, here's just a glaring issue. We had by far the best pitching staff in baseball. Best pitching staff we've ever had.
I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead.
Best pitching staff in baseball. Historically good pitching staff.
Yes.
And we missed it by one game. However, we had the number one worst offensive batting. We were worst batting staff.
Oh, yeah.
Team.
Right.
All they had to do was they didn't have to put a great batting lineup, not a average one. They could have even gone below average they could have just put a below average batting lineup in there and they would have been in the playoffs.
You know what makes me sick, Tim Boyle? You want to make me just absolutely the rage inside me watching, which has been a great playoffs, by the way. Cleveland series was great. It had an epic, unbelievable home run and extras. It's been if you like baseball, it's been fantastic. But you know what just absolutely chaps my ass? The Mariners had a better starting pitching than any team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, who are up, as we record this, they're up 2-0. Wait, 3-0. They're up 3-0.
Yeah. But Yankees are winning tonight.
They don't even have enough starting pitchers to have a full rotation go for 5 games. Like today's a bullpen game. It's a bullpen game.
Where the Mariners would have been totally fine.
100%.
That's the thing is you could have, if they would have just put like a below average offensive lineup in there, they'd be in the playoffs. And here's the other thing that defies logic. They've always said for years and years is like, oh, pitching wins championships, defense wins championships. It's like they had it and they just defied all the odds by not putting anybody decent in their lineup.
It's ridiculous. I'm done with them. Okay, I'm done with them. I'm gonna pick another.
Sure?
Well, I got one.
Before.
I know, but one thing I'm doing, I could care less about Comcast cable so that I can watch Root Sports. I am officially cutting the cord because the only reason,
like Tubu or what?
No, I'm not gonna get anything. I don't want to watch them. I'm done. They're dead to me.
Done?
Fire Jerry. Fire Stanton. Fire everybody. I'm so over them.
They did finally find. I don't know if this happened between our last podcast.
Well, you mean we had the last one in 1995?
Yes.
Our last podcast.
They did fire Cerveza, which is good. I mean, he wasn't the problem, but
he
still
wasn't
good.
the problem.
But he was part of the problem.
He was a scapegoat.
Yeah, he was.
It was a bullshit move by Jerry, his supposed
Jerry
friend.
just did it so he wouldn't get fired.
Jerry's a putz, okay?
Completely.
Dipshit Dipoto will live in infamy. I don't give a shit what they do. He'll always be dipshit Dipoto.
I just want to remind you how many years you were calling him Dynamite Dipoto.
I did. How many years? I
Yeah.
called him one time when we got to the playoffs. One time, and then we had a 10.
No, you were back and
no
forth.
bullshit.
On him a lot.
When we had a 10-game lead in June of this year, I might have slipped a
You might have
dynamite.
brought it back.
I might have hit a dynamite.
No, I'm
Dipoto.
talking like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You
No,
brought
I've
in
been
Dynamite
What are you
Dipoto.
talking about?
He's been Dynamite Dipoto more than once.
Roll the tape.
We're gonna go back.
When he does well, I've showed him dynamite.
That's what I'm saying. He's been Dynamite.
You said for 2 years you've called him dynamite.
No, it's off and on.
Yeah, I'm trying to be fair.
You were acting like you only said it one time.
No, I said it when they were phenomenal, when they made the playoffs, when they got this, yes. But any general manager worth their salt with the talent that he had on pitching, and to your point earlier, the fact that he didn't even have to have that great of batting. He didn't have to have that great of offense.
He could have had a crappy batting, just not the worst in the major league.
But think of a general manager who actually knows what the fuck they're doing. You could have a general manager who has a hand tied behind his back, who's an average general manager. They get to the playoffs the last 3 years.
Any general manager would have noticed. Okay, we got the best pitching staff, and let's just put some scrubs on there that can actually hit a little bit more than 197 and 167.
You know what else? I'm so tired of the narrative. Oh, and I agree. I want the owners gone. Don't get me wrong. That'll never happen, but I want them gone. But the fact of the claim that the excuse of we don't spend money. We don't spend money. Bullshit, we don't spend money. We're in the middle of the pack on payroll.
Yeah.
Okay? That's not the answer to all your prayers.
No, but they could have spent a little money and brought it midway through before the trade deadline when they knew they had this good of a pitching staff. They could have spent a little money and brought like a couple sticks in.
100%, but that's not the root problem because
it's not the root problem, but it's part of it.
But back to your entire argument and my argument and all of our argument, we didn't have to be that great. Yeah. We didn't need Soto. No. We didn't need Aaron Judge. We didn't need Ohtani. We just needed a little bit better than the dreck we got.
Just put a bunch of 250 hitters.
Yeah, which doesn't cost a fortune. Exactly. Is my point.
If your lineup averaged 240, 250, you would have been in the playoffs. But no, we were at like 260.
And that's not going to cost you $225 million a year. No. That's my point. I'm tired of hearing about the money.
And then you get rid of all these players last year, and all of a sudden they're having like the career years.
That great. God, so good. We're rusty, but you're really good. Because that's the other problem. Let's say we get Soto. Let's say we go and spend a bunch of money. You know what's going to happen. I know it.
They're going to suck.
They're going to suck.
Yeah.
It's the worst year they've ever had.
It's the organization.
It is the organization.
It's everything.
It's the vibe.
It's the weather. That makes a difference. It's the attitude.
It's the people.
It is. It's the whole thing.
It's the leadership.
It's a lot of things combined.
All right, we got to move on. God, you got me all
Thank you.
Spiced up.
And by the way, speaking of, what do the Mets, Dodgers, and Yankees all have in common?
Payroll?
Yeah, their payroll's all like $300 million. And guess where they were this year? All the way the Mets were almost made it to the World Series, and the Yankees and Dodgers are in the World Series. So money that's kind of like goes against your theory. Money does get you there.
No, I do, but we know that I'm just trying to live in the reality. We're not going to be the highest payroll team.
Million.
We're not going to be that team. So be like Tampa Bay, be like Milwaukee, be like these teams that are in the middle of the Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't have a big payroll, and they darn near got to the World Series. Yeah. So,
well, it's one thing when you're approaching the trade deadline, and you don't have any shot at making the playoffs. Then I can see why you wouldn't want to spend some money.
Yeah, I agree.
But when you're the Mariners and you're approaching the trade deadline, and you got a chance you could win the World Series this year if you had some bats.
And by the way, are probably the best catcher. So let's just in closing.
The big dumper.
The big dumper. So we have the best. Actually, this is categorical.
His stats are
No,
crazy.
he's the best catcher in Major League Baseball. So let me just explain this to everybody. We have the number. It's not even close. The numbers bear it out. We have the top pitching staff in the major leagues. In fact, in history, we have one of the best staffs in history.
Yeah, in fact, when they were comparing our pitching staff to like the Tom Glavins,
yes, better.
All those Atlanta Braves pitchers that did so well. Yeah, the Mariners are better.
So we have that. We have the best catcher in the league. And what do we got? We got nothing. We missed the playoffs one more time. It's horseshit.
Dipoto should have been fired.
Fired!
All right, we got to move on from that.
Okay, do you want to go college or pro football? College football?
Let's go college.
Ooh, we're just about up to a break. We're not quite there.
You're kind of getting ready for a good belch.
Well, I'm enjoying the meal twice.
Very nice.
Okay, let's go to your Cougs because this is another.
Cougs. Oh, you want to talk about the
Let's
Cougs?
talk about the Cougs. Go Cougs!
Well, you've been like really dialed in listening to Puck.
I know. By the way, pucksports.com. Go to pucksports.com. Go download the app. Watch him. He does a daily show. Him on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Jim Moore, who's the go-to guy, who's Go Cougs guy.
They're both Go Cougs.
They're both huge Cougs. They do the best entertaining sports radio, in my opinion, in the Seattle market.
Well, you've been getting on there with the voicemails too.
I am 5-0.
You're like the only guy that they.
I'm 5-0, and I'm now I'm in a. By the way, I don't want to brag, but I'm in email correspondence with Jason Puckett, the host of the show.
Have you done your Howard Cosell yet?
Oh, that was my first.
That was your
one.
first.
Oh, that was my second one.
Okay.
Actually, it's one of my best Howards I've ever.
That's
done.
the one I gave you the tip on, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's one of my better ones. I got another one thanks to you coming up this week because I was gone. I couldn't get it, and I actually emailed him, and he said, "Don't worry." So I've had a lot of fun with that.
I want to be your agent.
Yes, because the listeners of this program have heard all of them.
They haven't heard them.
I'm repurposing all of them.
As you should.
But I do come up with new scripts, okay? And they appreciate the scripts. But let's talk about your Cougs. I'm sucked into the Cougs. I'm watching and listening to more Coug shit than you have ever done.
That's good because I've missed like 4 games.
I know everything. Tell me, I've listened to the Cougs Corner. He does a Cougs Corner. I listened to Dickert. He's had John Mateer on. I know about the barbecue stand NIL deal. I know I am so deep into Cougars. And you know what? I'm angry.
I've been trying to get you on the bandwagon.
Well, you know what? I'm all ready to get off the bandwagon already.
Why?
Because they didn't beat Boise State.
Oh,
then all
Boise
you guys
State's good.
Fine, but all you guys are bitching and moaning that you're not ranked and you're not this and nobody cares. Then beat somebody.
Okay, so in fairness, when we were 4-0 after we won the Apple Cup, which I haven't even brought up yet, we were 4-0. We beat the Huskies, who were ranked 17 or 18,
which was
something.
Baloney, by the way.
Baloney what?
They shouldn't have been ranked at all.
Well, they were, though.
Okay.
They were. And now we're undefeated. They should have at least cracked the top 25 there.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So that's the beef there.
Okay. But now they're ranked 22nd.
It took them like 3 more wins or something to finally.
Yeah, you needed all these other people to go down.
Yeah, exactly.
We agree on.
That's the only way we're getting there.
Let me tell you.
Lose.
I'm going to tell you something. For those just dabbling or considering, okay, so for people that are maybe in market to become a Coug fan.
Ooh. Do your research. It's a tough bandwagon to jump on, let me tell you.
There's no bandwagon. It's just heartache and heartbreak. And
that's why they're so passionate when they're winning.
My God.
And that's why they're such a passionate fan base.
And then
nobody's been oppressed like the Cougs.
I feel except Iowa Hawkeyes.
Except for the Catholics.
And the Jews. They have this quarterback, ladies and gentlemen, John Mateer. Johnny Mateer. He is a throwback. He runs. He throws. He does everything. He's got long hair. He's like Vinny Barbarino. Oh my God, I think we're gonna die. He does it all. Johnny Mateer is the man.
He had 300 yards rushing in was first or second game.
We were putting him. You were trying to bet on him for the Heisman.
I tried. I went up to Tulalip and I tried to put money on him for the Heisman. He was such a long shot. You couldn't bet on him.
A couple weeks later, you could because Puck and Moore
weeks later,
did.
but then he was only like 30-1 or something. It's like
it wasn't as bad.
He should have been because some people are like 800-1, 900-1.
I mean, I love this kid. He's so fun to watch. And then he shits the bed against Boise State. Yes, he didn't have time. And their offensive line looked like absolute dog shit.
Okay, Boise State has the best
You were at the
player.
game.
I was at the game. They had the best player in college football. Ashton Genty or
Ashton
Gentry.
Genty. Don't mix it up for me.
He is the best player in college football. I bet you he wins the Heisman.
He's the front runner right now.
It was Cam Ward, by the way, another Cougar.
He's number 2.
Yeah. Which I'm not a huge Cam Ward
I know
fan.
he's kind of smoke and mirrors getting away with
I
a lot of
agree.
stuff. So the Cougars, I'm telling you, if you're faint of heart, it's not for you. Okay? Because these people break your heart. They are just, you think they're above mediocrity, you think you got something going, and they just crush you every time. They barely got by San Diego State.
But we did. And we came back. We needed 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
And then I got to hear about who'd you play, Jose? Who'd you play the first game?
The first game was like
San Jose State.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're a better team than they're San Jose State.
They had like the best receiver in
bullshit.
college
Come
football.
on.
We've had to face the best receiver and the best running back.
And this is
football.
people, if you're watching on the YouTube, this is the problem with him. And this is the problem with all you Cougs. Okay? We all got problems. They beat San Jose State, bro.
What do you expect us to do? Keep in mind the Pac-12 deserted us. We got only play. It's not like we got to pick everybody we got to play.
Okay, now I feel bad.
Now come on.
Now I feel bad.
They're playing the people that they could put on their schedule.
Now the Pac championship.
I think we're going to win.
Washington State, Oregon State.
I like our odds right now.
Do you?
But
okay. Well, I'm telling you, I'm here, but I could be leaving at any time. This is not Hotel California for me.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It is not.
And again, that's why they're so when you've gone there and you've lived through all that, and you live in that college town. That's why they're like the most passionate.
Not to mention every game's on at 2 a.m.
Well, they do. There's that.
But you can see them.
That's right. They're on.
See them on the CW.
Hey, what are you talking about? The Huskies were on at like 7 a.m. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they've had 2 9 a.m.s. Okay, we're taking a quick break, but we're going to stay on college football because a lot has happened.
Are we done with the 7-1 22 ranked Cougars right now?
Not if you don't want to
Okay,
be.
no,
do you want to go on?
No, I don't have.
You want to act like you've been there before?
Yeah.
Just,
we were with Minshew.
You guys were.
Yeah, we were legit.
And Reese Davis still the number 1 game day.
Still, yep, number 1.
He just said it recently.
He did. He said it again.
All right, we'll be back more right after this.
If you weren't listening the last time these guys got together, you've got to be kidding me.
All right, we're back here from the Boyle Theater.
One little last tidbit.
Oh, I got about what?
About the Cougs.
Yeah.
If you do jump on our bandwagon, we don't have a bandwagon, so there's no jumping off. So you better be committed. You can't. The Cougs don't have that. We don't have fair weather fans.
Well, it depends.
Where you're there or you're not there.
Yeah, but it depends on how far you go in.
If you even dabble your feet for a little paddle, if you even go in for a little paddle, you're in.
You're gonna want to,
and you can't. You don't just jump on and off of our bandwagon.
Well, that's what I've been doing.
We're not like the Husky fans.
That's what I've been doing since I met you.
Yeah, I know, but this is different. If you're gonna jump in, you're in for life.
Speaking of the Pac-D, which is now increased since we've been on, there's been a lot of developments on that. Yeah. How do you feel about what are they up to? 7 teams, 6, 7 teams now?
Need one more.
I can't tell you who they got. They got Colorado State.
Yeah,
they got
like Utah State,
San Diego State.
San Diego State. Did we get Fresno State?
Maybe.
We were about to get UNLV, but then that didn't happen, right?
Well, they lost their quarterback.
He left. They weren't paying him enough money, so he literally just said, "Nah, I'm out." By the way, I blame you for that.
You're welcome. So how do you feel about the Pac-6, the Pac-7, the Pac-8, whatever? How do you
feel? A lot better when we get one more team.
Okay, but you were okay with this thing? I mean,
what am I supposed to? You know what? Absolutely. I mean, beggars can't be choosers.
But if you get into the playoffs, do you think? Okay, let me ask you this way: given that they go to the Pac-8 or whatever. But if the Big 12 comes and says, hey, knocks on the door and says, hey, Cougs, you want to come over? Or if the Big 10 says, hey, you want to come in?
Oh, if we get our 8 or 9, 10 teams, I'd give them the middle finger in like 2 seconds.
And leave? Or
I don't want to go in the Big 10. Look at all
oh,
the
you would, what
problems.
about the Big 12?
Look at all, man, I'd probably rather do
You could
that.
win the Big 12.
We could win the Pac-12 easier.
No, well, that's true. Actually,
See?
there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to travel all over the United States. And again,
What do you mean? You do this every day for a living?
Yeah. If I'm an athlete, I don't want to. If I'm a student, you don't want to do that. I mean,
We've got lists here, people.
by the way, Stanford and Cal are already complaining about it. So the Huskies are already complaining. But what it's going to happen when it's cross country and when it's softball and when it's swimming and all these sports that might play during the middle of the week, and you got to go all the way across country to do it. I mean, we've talked about it before, but still, it's brutal.
Well,
No, I wouldn't want to join the Big 10. Screw the Big 10.
Okay, what about the Big 12? Screw them too.
Probably. No, I'd want to stay in the Pac-12 if we're viable and we got enough teams. I don't want to just jump shit. Oregon State and Washington State are not like that. That's why they're the two that got kind of left holding the bag.
Yeah.
That's not their MO.
If they come with a big bag of money, though,
I'll be disappointed. If
well, can you blame them? How do you blame them?
I blame them because not everything's about money.
Tim, I love your.
Well, it is for you. You like the NIL and the transfer portal and blah blah.
Ah, you like the NIL and the transfer portal.
Except you're a socialist in every other aspect of life, but.
Oh my God! Here we go.
But for some reason, you like it.
I think it's bearing out that the transfer portal specifically is great for college football. Do you want to get into this discussion right now?
No, we've done it 1,000 times already.
Well, you're seeing it in living color. Alabama lost twice. You're seeing more parity in college football than you've seen in years.
Tony Bennett just retired too. So did Nick Saban.
Tony Bennett
just retired because of the NIL.
Bullshit. You know what?
He even said it. He can't.
Bullshit. I call 1,000 lies.
You think he's lying?
I think it sounds good. I think it's part of it. I think it's convenient. But you don't tell me Tony Bennett, he's got 3 weeks until the start of the games, until the season. He quits 3 weeks in. Bullshit move on his team. He screws those guys. They can't transfer now, by the way. It's bad for the university. I don't buy any of that shit. You know why he retired?
Why?
Because his wife said, I'm done.
It was a Giselle move?
It was. I'm done.
She's pregnant, by the way.
Spend 24 hours a day. Is she really?
Yeah, they just announced she's pregnant. She's like 45 and she's pregnant.
Are you
with the jiu-jitsu guy?
Really?
Yes.
We're gonna get to her.
I had her on the list.
We're gonna get. Did you?
Yeah.
We're gonna get to her former husband because I got issues. God, I was really on a roll.
You were.
There.
I just stopped you.
Stopped, and
I could see you about to blow an embolism.
You stopped me cold.
You got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I don't want you going in with this elevated blood pressure.
Yeah, it's not gonna go well. I already know. Tony Bennett screwed his team. He screwed his university. He screwed everybody because you don't quit 5 minutes before the season starts. That's not how this works. I'm telling you, his wife, he mentioned his wife, his kids. They're finding like, you know what, kid?
Okay,
I'm all done.
I got to stop you there. Every coach that does, I got to go spend time with my family. They all do that. Every single one.
Yes.
They're all lying, by the way.
I'm not saying
who wants to go spend time with their family.
Oh, but
I mean,
nobody.
On. Exactly.
He barely knows his kids.
Exactly.
He had to look to the left of the press conference.
It's like Tom Brady. How many times did Urban Meyer retire and say, I want to go spend time with my family?
I get you, but I'm telling you, the precipice of this is not because I'm tired of the NIL and I'm tired of the... It's not that. You don't do that then. You do that last spring.
Well, he probably had a couple people transfer or something.
No, he didn't.
Who knows? I don't
Because he's not into the transfer portal.
He's not?
No, he doesn't like the transfer portal.
But he can't.
It's homegrown.
He can't prevent his own players from transferring.
That's true, but he didn't have a lot of transfers.
Well, Maybe he saw it coming.
You know what? I love Tony Bennett.
He cited the NIL and transfer portal as the reason he was leaving.
Of course,
so if
he
you don't
did.
believe him, that's fine.
Well,
I believe him.
He
was a Coug.
He was a Coug, and he's a phenomenal coach. And you know what? He brought Virginia a national championship. So
he did.
He did that.
Well, he was also the first number 1 seed to ever lose in the first round.
Yeah, and
then the next year he came back and won the championship. So
phenomenal.
Good revenge.
He doesn't owe anything to Virginia because he brought them something that is incredible. Since Ralph Sampson, remember that guy?
Oh, of course I do.
But I'm just telling you,
he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I had it on my wall.
Anything else you'd like to tell? You want to tell his height, his stats?
7'4".
Okay, stats. You want to see anything else?
He's 7'4" and still growing. He dribbles around his back. He does. I can still remember the.
I
cover
think I
of
might have had.
Sports
I think I might have had a Ralph.
It said all
Sampson.
this on the cover of the magazine.
Anyway, the
up.
timing is garbage and it stinks. It reeks. However, he was a great Cougs coach. He was a great coach. He only scores, 47 points a game.
Yeah, he slows everything down to a stop.
Yeah. Anyway. God, I'm exhausted already. Jesus.
That's because you're trying to defend the NIL and the transfer portal.
Oh my God.
There's no way to defend it.
You want to talk about the Huskies? You want to rip on the Husky fans?
Well, in fairness to me, because I like to be fair to myself,
remember,
we've not talked about the Apple Cup because that happened after we did our last pod.
Is it so long ago? I barely remember the Apple Cup.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm
giving you leeway. Talk about the Apple Cup.
We won, and it was the first time, ever. By the way, I predicted we were going to win.
And so did I.
You're the one who usually predicts the Cougs are going to win every year.
I do.
Yeah. I'm always saying, nah, not so fast.
You know what? They did, and congratulations. It was fantastic.
I told you I had reasons why I thought they would win. Because
I don't remember them off the top of my head. I'm sure you're going to tell me now.
Well, the reason is because the time of year we played them.
Yes.
This is not a knock on the Huskies, but I think the Huskies get better as the year.
Well, they're not this year.
Yeah. Well, who knows? We'll see. But typically, when they were in the Pac-12, they tended to be bad at the beginning of the season and got better as the year went along. And the Cougs would always kind of catch them at their peak.
Yeah.
And for some reason, if the Cougs would have played the Apple Cup the last 30 years at the beginning of the season, I think would have been probably 50-50.
Better, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, University of Washington, they went into Kinnick Stadium. The Iowa Hawkeyes.
Have you ever been there?
Oh, Nelly.
Have you been there?
I grew up going there,
That's
my
what
friend.
I thought.
Should have went back for that.
And I thought the Huskies might have a shot because Iowa's not really known for their offense.
No, they got the crap beat out of them.
Yeah, Iowa beat them worse than anybody.
Killed them. Yeah. Iowa absolutely killed them. So, yes, you have how does outstatted every team. You want to go on that. Yes, they should be 7-0.
You got to admit, Softy and his band of misfits, Dick Thane and Jordan Rayford or whatever his name is, all these Husky honks. So, all I saw, they should be 7-0. We've outstatted every team, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, there's really only one stat that counts, and it's the score.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're kind of quiet on that.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any big roaring, pushback there.
So anyway, they should be exactly what they are. They should be 4. Are they 4-4?
They're 4-4, I think.
They should be 4-4.
The big rage out of Jason Puckett and the Cougland is now everybody hates Jed Fish. Everybody wants him run out of town.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Everyone wants to fire him.
Keep in mind, in fairness to him, half the team left, right? I mean,
yeah,
they left. He's got a brand new team. He's
46 new players or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was because your boy Kalen DeBoer that you like so much left.
Oh, I got him on the list.
Of course, now everybody wants him fired too.
And you know what? He should be fired.
Really? They did beat Georgia this year. Nobody wanted him fired after they beat Georgia.
Yeah, it's because
everybody thought that was the most brilliant hire in the world.
Georgia almost beat him. Came real close to coming back.
But Alabama won.
They did, but then he lost to Vanderbilt. When's the last time that happened?
I don't know that that's ever happened.
It's never happened.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost to Tennessee.
And Vanderbilt, by the way, you've been to Broadway and
yes,
Nashville.
I have.
So
Nashville.
They marched that goalpost right down Broadway, the famous strip in Nashville,
all-
dumped it right in the river.
All
That'd
credit.
be the Cumberland River.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Geography by Tim Boyle. Kalen DeBoer is the debailer because he bailed on Washington, but big time credit to my brother-in-law, Chad Messina. We call him bro. He comes up with Kalen debacle.
Well,
Pretty good, isn't it?
Here's the thing about here's what we've had to contend with that for years. Mike Price left us for Alabama.
Yeah.
Never got to coach there.
No, he
Keep in mind, Dennis Erickson left the Cougs and went and won a bunch of national championships after he left the Cougs.
Aren't you bitter and petty?
No,
Didn't you hate it?
You hate it at the time. But
Yes.
why in the world would Kalen DeBoer not go take the Alabama
I
job?
don't know, because you're taking over for the greatest coach of all time in the history of college football. You don't want to take.
Oh, what are you going to do? Say, no, I want to wait 2 or 3 years to take this job. No, because it's not going to be available.
You want to say, I want to be the guy after the next guy, because nobody goes in after the guy.
You don't have that opportunity.
How do you know you don't have that opportunity?
Well, that's the thing. You don't know. You probably aren't going to get it.
Well, no.
What's he going to do? Say, nah, call me in 3 years. They're not going to call him.
Let me do some analytics for you.
Okay, please do.
The higher probability is that the guy who comes after Nick Saban is going to not do well, because you're the guy after the guy. Then
trust me, I get all that.
And they get rid of him, and then you come in and get that.
But it's an opportunity you have you got an opportunity. You got to jump on it. You got an opportunity to be the coach of.
You don't have to jump on it.
Well, if you want to be the coach of Alabama and have your name in history,
well,
nobody's going to remember nationwide. Nobody's going to remember who the Husky coaches are. They remember the Alabama coaches.
Well, okay. I mean, depends on how successful you are.
I think
does everybody know Don James, who's over 40?
I think. Probably not, but I think his plan was to go there and be successful. He wasn't planning on going there and losing.
Okay.
But he's got the NIL.
Wow.
Got the NIL.
Okay.
With.
That.
Well, you act like it's
that hit me hard.
You act like it's an automatic losing proposition for him to go.
I'm telling you, and you know
case.
what? I was going to pull this up because I looked. The Alabama fans already want Kalen DeBoer fired. By the
of course, but the Washington Husky fans want Jed Fish fired.
Well.
They're just as bad. The Huskies did that with Chris Peterson.
I understand that.
He'd lose one game and they'd want him fired. Jimmy Lake was the greatest guy in the world until he lost a game.
I thought he was going to be better.
See?
Well,
that's how these crazy fan bases work.
No, I'm sorry. It's called winning expectations.
There's expectations and then there's unrealistic, just retardedness.
You can't say that word.
Oh, whoops. Since when?
Are we live?
I thought this was an explicit broadcast.
Yeah, God.
It's one thing to have high expectations.
It's when you win, when you contend for national championships, right? Remember, University of Washington was in the national championship last year. When's the last time the Washington State Cougars have been in the national championship?
Oh, that's a shot. What's that have to do with anything? We don't have unrealistic expectations.
Well, that's because I'm saying once you get there, realistic or unrealistic, fair or unfair. Once you get to a certain level, you have expectations of getting there. So that's the Alabama. That's the sick fandom.
It's okay. The problem is
what is the problem?
The problem is Huskies will lose like 2 or 3 games and they still think they're going to be in the playoffs.
Of course they do.
So it's one thing to have high expectations
because they're delulu.
It's one thing to be delusional.
They're delulu.
Yeah, they're more delusional than high expectations.
But
there's a fine line between the two. They're delusional.
Okay, Tim, don't try it. You're trying to apply like rational, common sense logic to sports fandom.
Well, that's because some sports fans have it and some don't.
Well,
the Cougar fans have it. We've been let down so many times. We have realistic expectations.
You know what? That's called an abusive beatdown. You don't have anything.
That's true. That we appreciate it when we win a game.
Yes,
and we're not calling for our coach to be fired after a loss.
Well, Dickert's a national treasure.
He is. Thank you very much.
I can't believe if he does well against the playoff. He's going to go get another job.
Sure, he will. So in your math, though, you'll hate Dick.
Absolutely,
you will not.
Absolutely,
you will not.
Down goes Dickett.
if Dickert if he gets into the playoffs and goes, I mean, it's going to be disappointing.
Yeah, but aren't you going to
Everybody's going to understand it.
Aren't you going to be pissed that he leaves?
Maybe for a day or something, but I'm not going to be like hating on him, thinking,
Well,
wanting him to get fired from every job he ever has for the rest of his life.
You're better than I am because I'm petty and I'm bitter about debacle.
God, I hope Dennis Erickson gets fired for the rest of his life for every job he ever takes because he.
See, that'd be a good take.
See that?
I'd understand that take.
And same with Mike Price and Mike Leach.
Yeah. Oh, Mike Leach, what a gem that guy is. We're going to take a break and we're going to go back.
We got to calm down a little bit.
We just a little bit. I'm losing my voice already with you. We got pro football. We got all kinds of stuff on the National Football League.
Guten Tag und Grüß Gott from Bavaria. This is Randy from Neunkirchen, Germany, and you're listening to the Scott and Tim Sports Show.
That was funny.
Are you
on the
break
break
and
vittles? I'm a little bit, but God.
Tomorrow your numbers are gonna be off the charts tomorrow.
My numbers are.
Oh, there you finally.
That's for you, Mark Island, not Bob Kylan.
I don't know the difference.
You don't.
Not
you
even
literally
still.
don't.
Not even still. Even still, after all these years.
I owe it to myself to tell you.
Thank you, Eugene Levy.
Oh, God.
From National Lampoon's Vacation.
That's so funny. When do you? Of course, so on the break, Tim says, "I owe it to myself to tell you I'm upgraded to first class tomorrow." I
did owe it to myself.
What an absolute jerk you've become.
Thank you.
Bougie freaking Boyle.
That's one of the nicest things you've ever said to me.
The National Football League.
Where do we go?
Where do you want to start? With your Seattle Seahawks?
Let's start with the debacle. Well, first of all, let me start with some bad news. I'm probably not going to win my money on the Mike McDonald Coach of the Year.
Bob McDonald? Wow.
However, though.
You know what I keep thinking about when I see him?
What?
Hey, Mikey.
He is young.
Hey, Mikey, he likes it.
Most people don't remember that commercial.
Most?
That was Life. Cereal.
That was.
Yeah, so I'm probably not winning that. However, I'm kind of liking my chances on the Bo Nix.
So happy for Bo.
Of the year.
So happy for our boy Bo
I might
Nix.
make some good money on that.
We could. Are you going to buy me anything?
And Pete the Appraiser did. We both put that on there.
Did you really?
Yeah, except he's kind of a homer though. That's his team. The Oregon Ducks was his team.
Yeah.
So I'm only going to give him like half credit for that. I'm going to give me full credit.
100%. I'm happy for Bo Nix.
Bo Nix is tearing it up.
He is now, but I can't stand Sean Payton. So.
Although Jaden, is he going to edge out Jaden Daniels?
No, he's not going to edge out Jaden Daniels because Jaden Daniels is tearing it up.
But so is Bo Nix.
No, not in the same way.
Jaden Daniels did have the play of the year.
The play of the year, the play of umpteen, yes. The Hail Mary from.
What's funny is I had that on like pause with like 5 seconds left because we were about to eat dinner.
And then did I text you?
No. Somebody like Samantha's boyfriend Brian got a text and it said, "Oh, something's going to happen here." So we waited till we were done eating. Then we watched like the last. It was like literally on the last play.
It was. Didn't I text you? Did you see that?
No. Well, you might have, but I didn't pay attention. So anyway, that was a phenomenal play, by the way.
It was an incredible play. And
how about the Chicago Bears defensive guy taunting the crowd during the
Oh my God, Stevenson, right?
Yeah. He's taunting the crowd during the play. He doesn't even realize it till like 5 seconds into the play that there's a play going on. Because he's too busy taunting the crowd. Then he ends up being the guy that tips the ball into the hands of the other guy.
And the other thing I love, because I'm a huge Rex Ryan fan on ESPN.
Yeah.
Because Eberflus, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, comes on after the game at the press conference, and they ask him, what about the play before when you give up a 13-yard pass out of bounds? Oh, we're not worried about that play. It was all about the last play.
No, him getting the 13 yards they were able to get that Hail Mary. And then on the Hail Mary, why do they have a guy spying the quarterback? They've got one guy spying the quarterback. It's like, what are you going to think the quarterback's going to run like 80 yards?
This is the age-old debate, though. This is the age-old debate. Do you just send 5 guys, 6 guys?
Well, they should have sent. rather than him spying the quarterback, they should have sent him in on a rush.
Yes.
Because there's no reason to spy the quarterback on a Hail Mary.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big X's and O guy, but I know that's worthless spying the quarterback. He's not going to run 80 yards for a touchdown.
No, but I love Rex Ryan. He asked Dan Orlovsky, who's also the ESPN, the quarterback, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, Eberflus doesn't think that second to last play is important." Hey, Dan, is it easier to throw the ball 80 yards or 50 yards?
Exactly. Yeah, they should have never. They were playing the prevent to win defense on
Eberflus. I'm not sure he knows what's going on.
But the other thing about it is, first of all, the odds of that happening is like
rare.
1 in 1,000. I mean, how often is there a game-winning Hail Mary in the NFL?
Very,
Once
very,
a
very
year
rare.
at the most. I mean, sometimes there's some at halftime, but I'm talking game-winning Hail Mary. Like
it happened last year in college.
I'm talking the pros, maybe once every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
There hasn't been a lot. Aaron Rodgers had one against
exactly.
Detroit. But the only reason he got that is because somebody touched his face mask on the play before, like a thumb grazed his face mask, and they called it. Do you remember this?
Oh, that's right.
It was against Detroit.
That's right. I do remember.
And it was like
that.
Monday Night Football or something.
Was that at the half, though? Wasn't it?
No, that was the game.
Oh, was it?
The
Okay, that's
game.
right.
And a Detroit guy grazed his freaking face mask with his thumb, and they gave him the Patrick Mahomes treatment.
Yeah. At least Patrick's earned a lot of that.
What are you talking about? They throw a flag anytime.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not remember the great Tom Brady when you came within 25 inches of him and they called a flag?
Well, the difference
there's the Brady rule, there's the Jordan rules, and now there's the Mahomes rule. Stop.
No, the Brady rule was different. They just weren't allowed to touch it.
Well, even if they got close to it, they called a flag.
Every time Brady threw an interception, they didn't call it back like they do for
Yeah,
Mahomes.
but every time he barely got touched, he got up and was screaming at the ref.
Well, you know why? Because they weren't allowed to touch him. It was the rule.
Well,
I don't make the rules.
Well, they should make a rule. You're not allowed to touch Mahomes.
You're not allowed to intercept Patrick Mahomes.
No. Well, he's got a lot of interceptions. He's still winning, though.
What's funny is he's like leading the NFL in interceptions.
I know. It doesn't matter.
And you put all these freaking like Trevor Lawrence has got better stats than him. And
he's generational talent.
He is generational. Multi.
Just leave him alone, would you? Would you just leave him alone?
God, we get off on these tangents.
Get him off your target list. Just leave Lawrence alone. He's got beautiful hair.
He does. Sometimes he could dress up as a nice looking woman for Halloween.
Are you want to talk about your Seattle Seahawks or not?
Okay, so where were we going with that?
We had the dumpster fire of the game against the Bills.
I'm probably not going to win my Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
Mike
game,
McDonald, Mikey.
That game was a dumpster fire, by the way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't. Where do you start on that game?
You want to end on it?
No, I mean, no. Let's go with it. But where do you begin?
Well, I missed the game last weekend because I was traveling for work. Something you don't know anything about.
You were home.
No, last Sunday. Remember, everyone was at your house.
Yeah, you did.
I wanted some context because they looked phenomenal against the Atlanta Falcons.
And I just want to say that it kind of I'm pissed that you missed the game because I had all these women here and they're not watching the game at all. They're like talking.
The woman folk?
Yes, there's like 6 of them and they're just talking and like carrying on. I'm like, it's hard to watch.
There was a party at the Boyles for the fantasy football league.
And by the way, I didn't know you weren't coming till the very last.
Well,
second.
I don't know who you are anymore.
Bomb on me.
I never see
I'm
you.
not going to be there.
I don't even know who you are.
Thank you.
Where am I?
Well, you did have to get directions over here today, so there's that. But yeah, we had the fantasy football group over here, so it ended up being me and all the women.
It was. But I heard
you think that sounds like a good thing, but it's not.
I was trying to text you to keep you engaged.
Cougar Joe didn't come, but Rob Townsend did come, and he
did?
He did. He was here for a while, but then they left, and then your wife channeled your inner personality, and they were the couple of them. Were
I know. I was texting.
They were here till the 3rd, so that was the 10 a.m.
Then
game.
Mindy's texting me. Classic. Mindy texts me without you on this thing. How tall is Tom Brady?
That's hilarious.
No shit. We're talking. I go, He's the tallest man ever on Earth, according to your husband, was my reply.
Well, he's taller than anybody he's standing next to is the answer.
Okay, we'll get to Tommy Brady and his whatever you want to call what he's doing now. Okay, so the McDonald era, the biggest thing is, and Puck Sports has done this, and Jason Puckett, right? The reason they hired and they fired Pete Carroll is because their defense has been god-awful. It's been historically bad. It was terrible last year. They can't run the ball on offense. Their offense is boring and just not effective. And here we are, 8 games into the season, and
we're back to the exact same
genius
thing.
Mike McDonald, the defensive guru of all gurus, and they're actually statistically worse.
What's sad is they started out 3-0, and everybody's like, "Oh my
god!" Yeah,
because
they played nobody.
That's also true.
They played a stand-up cutout cardboard figure of quarterbacks.
But they were 3-0. In the NFL, 3-0 is 3-0.
That's true, and it's hard to win the NFL. Yeah. So give them credit.
The Ravens just lost to the freaking Cleveland Browns.
I don't even know how that happens.
Yeah, that's like impossible.
I got another. That brings up another point.
But by the way, so this game, it was a debacle. But
debacle of a game against the Bills.
That's what it says on here. What's odd about the game is the Seahawks actually could have won that game. They had so many opportunities where first of all, Buffalo's better.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were going to win that game.
I agree.
And they had to play perfectly to win that game. But it's the things that they missed on, they could have won. Like, for example, they intercept the ball and take it down to they ended up getting it down to the 2-yard line.
Yep.
And then what happened? They got it down the 2-yard line 2 different times, and they got 3 points out of it. One time they hiked the ball over Geno Smith's head, and it went back about 30 yards, and Kenneth Walker had to run it, grab it and run it. Yeah. They ended up getting a field goal out of that. Then the other time they had it at the 2-yard line, it was 1st and goal from the 2, and on 4th down, Geno Smith steps on the center, the right guard or whatever, or vice versa, and they end up they get 0 out of it.
So if you take the offense in a capsule and you take out those things, they actually drove the ball decently. They had some good runs. Now they didn't even have the ball in the first half.
Well, first of all, the time of possession was 1 minute. They had 1 minute of time of possession.
Yeah, and they only had 1 yard after one half of running.
Right, and then beside all that, Josh Allen in a key moment fumbles the ball and then kicks it forward 10 yards. Not only did we not recover it, not only did he kick the ball forward, he ends up getting a first down out of it, and we would have held him right there and got the ball back.
Yep.
So there's all these things that happened that
it was 3 plays.
Well, Chuck Knox always used to say, he was the most boring interview ever, but he'd always say, well, there's about 4 or 5 plays in the game, 4 or 5 really big things in the game, and you need about 3 of them to go your way.
Here's my issue.
And he's so right about that. That's such a simple thing, but he's so dead on with that. Rest in peace, Chuck Knox.
Yes. The thing that bothers me, and this has been talked about because I've been so absorbed in the post games and this and that and Puck Sports and everything else, is the offensive line. Nothing happens because the offensive line. And the defensive line hasn't really been good, except before the Buffalo Bills, weirdly, they were actually a top 10 team in pressures, which is odd to me.
Yeah, and you know how many they got? Do you mind me? They got 0. 0 sacks, 0 pressures, 0 hits, nothing. Bumpkus.
Ungats. Okay? Bumpkus. So my problem comes all the way back to, what is the second most important position on the football field, Tim Boyle?
The second most important position?
Second most important position on any team, anytime, anywhere.
Oh, that's debatable, but...
Well, it's you and me. Of course it's debatable.
I don't know. Your offense...
It's the center!
The center.
It's the center! I don't understand why they can't find a center.
Well, is the kicker?
They get
you could argue that the kicker might be the second.
No! They get the kid from Michigan in late rounds who's the Outland Trophy.
Yeah,
where the hell is he?
Where is he?
I don't know.
Is he not playing?
No, I never see him.
And what happened to Abe Lucas?
Abe Lucas, your boy, Washington State. Abe Lucas, hometown kid, right
here.
here.
Archbishop
Archbishop
Murphy, right down the
Murphy.
street. Where is he?
He's hurt.
Yeah, but okay.
He's on the pro size plan.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Are you glad?
I brought it up, and I'm glad I brought it up.
Wow. You know what? Since you're bougie Boyle now, you're right all the time. I'm glad you brought everything up.
The problem is I'm not right all the time, but when I am right, I like it because it feels good.
Go ahead
and
with
you know
Abe
what?
Lucas.
Feeling good makes me feel good.
Are the T-shirts made yet on that?
So the whole thing about so Abe Lucas comes in. He comes into the year. He's hurt. McCaffrey's hurt. All these players come in.
McCaffrey. How do we get on McCaffrey?
No, I'm talking about how all these players in the NFL, they come in. They've got an entire off season to get healthy, and there's all these. My fantasy football lineup on the first week was half my team was questionable. It's like, you haven't played a game yet. How's everybody questionable?
Why do you have to bring this always back to you?
I'm bringing it back to everybody. Why is everybody hurt all the time?
We talked about this for years. They have the greatest trainers. They have the unbelievable specialists.
Diets,
yes, they have
their
all
workouts are more scientific.
Yes, the technology.
But the injuries are way worse than they used. People didn't come into. It's better to be fat and out of shape and come into training camp because you're not hurt.
Wait, what if they go on the Italian diet?
They should go on the Italian
smoking
diet.
Freaking they should
lung darts,
wine,
pizza, and gelato.
They should have sticks all the time.
Totally.
Just drinking like fish.
On a serious note, back in the 70s and 80s, people took the off season off.
Here we go.
No, let's seriously. They took the off season off.
Listen, baseball players had 2 jobs in the off. They had jobs while they were playing. They smoked and drank and screwed all night and came in and played.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't get it. There's way more injuries. And I know people are bigger, faster, stronger, blah, blah, blah. But if they're bigger, faster, stronger, they should be less prone to the injuries.
I got something. How about we try this? Slower, okay? Weaker?
Slower, weaker, smaller.
Yeah.
No, my point
slower,
is
weaker, smaller. That's the T-shirt.
The other thing that they used to do, and I know it's a broken record, but they used to actually play people in the preseason.
Oh, here we go.
I know, but it's true. Now they now they don't play anybody. I'm telling you, they should play people in the preseason.
Dude, they're like a freaking thin. They're like a vase. These people are like tiny little China dolls that are so fragile. They get hurt every 5 seconds.
It's unbelievable. You should be able to come into the year. You've had 6 months off. You should be able to come in healthy. That's your one job.
But okay, we getting back to the Seahawks because they are playing like their 4th string guard.
Well, that was my point about Abe Lucas. Abe Lucas and Cross, they all come in. They come into the year and they're not able to play.
Cross has been good.
Yeah, but he wasn't available for the first couple games, right?
I don't know. Their offensive line, but when you listen to national, like every team, there are very few teams in the National Football League that actually have a decent offensive line, and they're always hurt. Somebody's always hurt. I'm not saying it's not a problem. I'm saying it's a major problem, and John Schneider deserves some criticism.
He does. The Seahawks tend to be hurt way more than anybody else. Is that
no,
fair? They're
I don't
running.
know that
oh my
that's
God,
fair.
They're running backs. They were on their 7th string. They were on Bo Scarborough, and the people didn't even know his name a couple of years ago because he was like 7th string. They pulled him off the practice squad like an hour before the game.
Why you got to bring up Bama? He's a Bama boy.
Literally,
that's hysterical reference right
Thank
there.
you.
And like 3 people might have gotten it.
Well, it was true. It actually happened.
That was funny as shit. That was well played.
Thank you. But literally, the Seahawks have been really plagued by injuries more than anybody.
They have, but this year we have Kenneth Walker III.
He was hurt too, though.
He was.
Thank you.
We have Charbonnet.
He hasn't been hurt, but Walker was hurt for a bunch of games.
It doesn't matter. We can't run the ball.
Pro side.
Yeah, that's a pro side situation.
Our last 2 really good running backs had to retire. Carson and then who was it before
Chris Carson? Good Lord.
We had a good one before Carson that ended up having to retire.
I agree. This is an epidemic across the National Football League. I don't think we're more hurt than other people. I don't. Look at the San Francisco 49ers. They're decimated. Every 5 seconds they get hurt.
They agree. They're hurt as well.
Well, you know what? The problem with the Seattle Seahawks is John Schneider should be taking some heat. I'm not completely off Mikey McDonald, number one. Number two, I had zero expectations this year. We have it on record, right? On recorded. What did you say they're going to be? 9 and 10 wins.
I think I said 9 or 10 wins.
Yeah, I think that was high.
Funny is they're on pace for right about that right now.
Yeah, but look at their schedule. They actually have to play some real teams coming up. Their defense there's just nothing going on there. They don't have a good rush. Their linebackers are dreck. I'm tired of Spoon. Where the hell's Spoon?
Yeah,
he's the 5th overall pick.
Remember, we were screaming on draft.
Where is the Spoon?
I don't know. He's all of a sudden become non-existent.
And I don't like the vibe out there.
Oh,
they don't like the vibe.
They're fighting each other.
I don't mind that. That's right. You don't like that, but I don't care about that.
No, I don't mind it. But the circumstance. First of all, usually they're fighting on the sideline.
Yeah.
Right? They're usually not fighing on the field.
And those
two were going at it hard.
A Bills guy had to break them up. Okay, we got to take a break.
Do we?
Yeah.
You got to break the seal again?
No, it's time. Right. It's time.
You're getting too worked up.
People can
only your doctor's appointment.
People can only handle 15-ish minutes of this before they need a break.
All right.
We'll come back. We got to finish out the National Football League.
I know. I agree. Hello, this is Timothy B. Boyle, and you're listening to the Scott and Tim Sports Show, and I apologize.
Welcome back to the Scott and Tim reunion tour, since we've been gone for decades, feels like.
And we're trying to catch up here.
All right. Do you have a list? Yeah, you do.
I do.
Do you want to go
NFL?
Stay in the NFL?
Let's stay in the NFL for a couple more minutes. Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk Aaron Rodgers. 2-6 Packers, or not Packers, Jets.
Ooh, yeah.
Same color uniform.
You're
is he worth it, or what's the deal? What's the deal with Aaron Rodgers? What's going on?
No, he's not
2-6. He got his coach fired.
So
there's that.
Yeah,
that was pretty. What was the deal? A few games ago, he gets a touchdown. His coach comes to hug him, and Rodgers shoves him.
I don't know. There was all kinds of talk about.
Then he gets fired right after that.
Yeah, he gets fired after that. He doesn't like the receivers, so he goes and
He gets
whatever his name,
Adams.
Devontae Adams. He comes over. He's basically like whining like a 5-year-old that he doesn't, have his friends.
They're pretty much doing everything he wants, and they're still 2-6.
Yeah, they're just not a good team.
No, they're not. And Aaron Rodgers, I've been watching him. He's just not quite. What Aaron Rodgers, I hate to admit this, when he was in his prime, he might have been the most accurate passer.
He was spectacular.
Just unbelievable. The touch he had.
Yeah.
And he just isn't quite. It's just not there.
No.
Well, it doesn't help that he hasn't played. Didn't play all last year.
But the Jets fans, poor Jets fans, I do feel for them because they can't get a break, man. They think they got the all that. Saleh, if all you got to do is watch Hard Knocks and you can tell if a coach is any good. He's shitty.
No.
Nobody respected him.
He dropped the F-bomb every other word, though.
Well,
so there's that.
There's that. So now he's on San Francisco.
Isn't he consulting
or he's on some staff? Yeah, he's on some defensive staff. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he's a whack job, and you know what? I like the fact that people are starting to get tired of his shit because he's not backing it up.
No,
he has no credibility. He's losing credibility
completely.
Speaking of somebody who's old and had a good game, do you want to go about Fake Fat Russ, FFR?
Oh, FFR, yeah. First of all, let's talk about. Well, he's 2-0 since he's come back
as a starter for the Steelers.
Why did they pull? It was a shocking move that they pulled Justin Fields. They're 4-2 with Justin Fields, right?
Yep.
He's playing good football. Generally, you're 4-2. You're not pulling your quarterback.
It's Mike Tomlin.
But he's
The guy's-
smart. The guy's smart because I think that was looks like it's a good move.
Yes.
Although I think who would they beat? They beat the Jets and they beat the Giants. Okay, so they beat the New York teams,
Which are god awful.
they're terrible.
Now we all know.
Hold on one sec.
Oh.
The Giants were right there in that game.
Right there. They had a comeback. You're right. They're not a good football team. The Giants.
No, and neither are the Jets, so that's who they beat. So is Russ really that good?
He shows well.
He does.
He showed
They're
well.
not having
the
him
last
do
two
a
nights.
lot. They're kind of like keeping him
That's
under.
exactly what I was thinking too.
And Tomlin's smart about that.
I'm telling you, FFR will FFR.
He will. I think he's going to face.
Everybody thought Derek Carr was the greatest quarterback in the history of mankind after
Why
3
do you hate
games.
Derek Carr so much?
Because Derek Carr's an idiot.
What are you talking about?
He cars. He will car. Derek Carr
Where
will
is
be
he?
Derek Carr.
Where is he right now?
He's on the sideline because he got hurt.
Okay.
He's in
everybody's hurt.
New Orleans.
Everybody's hurt.
But
Back
I'm
to
saying,
my theory.
Sam Darnold. Oh my God, Sam Darnold. Now he's the greatest quarterback. He's found his place. Is he playing better? Yes, he is. He's a way better quarterback than he was in Carolina and all the other crap.
I got some stats for you.
But small hands Darnold. Will Darnold.
Oh no. Let's get back to FFR.
So FFR has played well. They won last night. You're right. They haven't played shit. And let's see
what happens when they play an actual football.
And what happened the one time he got rushed?
He got sacked. He took a bunch of sacks.
And he fumbled the ball.
Yeah. And that fumble could have cost him the game, except the Giants fumbled when they were about to score.
Because even though he went to Duke, I don't know what happened, but Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, is one of the dumbest quarterbacks I've seen in the National Football League.
Proves that he shouldn't be starting every
He's
week.
Bad.
For some reason he is.
So FFR, It kills me to see him do well. Even Puckett's like, he's back.
I think it's a little. I think it's a little.
I can't go there.
I think somebody's getting a lot of exercise jumping to conclusions.
I mean, we are a Steelers podcast.
We are. So. Speaking of, I want to defend the Steelers for a sec. So FFR throws that pass to Pickens. Did you see this?
Yes.
That should be a touchdown.
He didn't get both feet down.
He gets 2 feet in bounds.
He got the same foot in twice.
First of all, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Wait, hold on. Jinx.
If you get the foot in twice, how is that not a catch?
Well, because he got 1 foot in. You gotta have the 1 foot. You gotta have the 2 feet.
He did have 2 feet, just not different feet. He had the same foot twice.
That's a bullshit rule.
It is a bullshit.
That's ridiculous.
It should be one. If you catch the ball and get a foot in bounds, that should be a damn catch. And if you get the same foot in bounds twice on a catch, that certainly should be a catch. Everybody knows what a catch is.
No, we don't.
Well, no, not in the NFL. The NFL has some stupid rules. But let me ask you this. How about, speaking of something I've never seen that. Have you ever seen somebody get the same foot in bounds
I don't
twice?
know that I have.
I don't think I have either. I've seen maybe a toe tap or something. But
yeah,
that
I
was
don't know
clearly
that,
2 feet in bounds. Well, not the same.
Well,
the same one though.
Part of me was like, man, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get
How do you not get the other one down?
Same foot down.
But in things I've never seen before.
But also, hey, shout out to Rob Milliken, one of the Faithful 48. He's a huge Steeler fan. We're happy for you, bro.
Yeah, good job. And Mike Tomlin.
Love him.
Yeah.
He's part of my other whole thing about the NFL, which I don't know if we're going to get to.
So back to the Seahawks game real quick.
Sure.
When did they change a rule? Because we had a roughing the passer. At the same time, there was an illegal shift. It's always been offsetting penalties forever.
Yes.
Did they change that this year?
I don't know that they changed it. I've never heard that. It was so weird. I was expecting him to say offsetting and we replay the down.
And he says something like, well, you know
what he said? He said, we like the other one better, so we're going to play that one.
It doesn't make any sense to me because, first of all, I think an unsportsmanship 15-yard penalty should trump like an offsides or something.
Yeah.
But the offside, they should still count the penalty of 5 yards. They should still, if this is a 15-yarder and this is a 5-yarder, it should be a 10-yard penalty.
Okay.
They shouldn't completely negate the other penalty.
Sure.
So I don't know that's something new because forever it's been offsetting. Right?
He could have made it up right there.
He could have.
The reffing is every year,
I've just
every
never seen that
season.
before.
It's just question after question.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. I mean, we had earlier the Vikings game, right? The blatant against the Rams. We had the blatant face mask. It was
The one they missed.
The one they missed.
Yeah.
It was like right in front of them. So why don't they go to video assist and just correct it quickly?
Instantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just garbage.
They tried that. By the way, they did the video assist on that Pickens touchdown.
Right.
And then Tomlin tried to challenge it, and then they didn't let him challenge it, and they took his timeout away. It's like, why don't you just tell him you can't challenge it?
Unbelievable.
I don't get that.
I don't either. What do Sam Arnold, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Steve Young have in common?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were supposed to ask me that.
Yeah. What do they have in common?
Small hands?
No, how about
Let me think. Hold on. Tom Brady, he's a very tall man. Aaron Rodgers, not so tall. Sorry, that's not good for the viewer. Steve Young, I don't know.
All those. Well, first of all, that's a good list of quarterbacks, right? None of them
other than Sam Darnold.
All of them had a little bit of time to prepare before they threw him into the fire.
Oh, they all didn't start the first year?
Well, I guess Sam Darnold did, but now Sam Darnold's doing well because he's had some time to be in the NFL. My point on that is and then if you go to my next question with Zach Wilson and all these quarterbacks, Trey Lance and Richardson and all these quarterbacks, they throw them into the fire instantly. I think it's bad. I think it ruins quarterbacks.
Except C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, and the jury's probably still out on him. But yeah, it's not ruined everybody.
And Jaden Daniels, but they're rare.
It's rare.
Out of the big number, they're
Look
very
at how many
rare.
busts there's been for early first round busts for over the last 10 years.
Zillions.
There's been way more because they throw them in the first game.
Totally.
And they expect them to be MVPs and take them to the Super Bowl.
I agree.
When that's really not how the NFL works. You need to develop these quarterbacks a little bit.
Okay, with your trivia question, that you've really been pumping this hard. I mean, he called me earlier today.
Yes. Since the NFL merger in 1970, which NFL team has the highest winning percentage? I got this one right, by the way.
Since the merger,
our people right now, the listeners are like Googling it. No cheating, people. No cheating.
Who has the highest winning percentage
Yes.
overall? Does this include playoffs?
No.
Man. Green Bay Packers.
No. It would be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh.
It probably would have been. It might have been freaking New England, except for they had some unnamed quarterback leave, and then they've crapped the bed. Dallas was number 2.
I was going to say, I was actually
considering
in my head. I was considering Dallas, to be honest.
But think about Tomlin's. How long has he been? They've never had a losing season.
13 years or something.
At least.
Long.
And then they had Bill Cowher and Chuck Noll, and all those Super Bowl teams and stuff. So,
which gets me back to why the NFL is so weird and keeps getting weirder and weirder. You have Cleveland, who beats the Ravens, which is just
how does that happen?
Crazy. You have who else won? I mean, you have these upsets.
Didn't Carolina win a game?
Yeah, Carolina wins.
Yeah.
You just have weird stuff, and I claim there's only it's a coaching. A big part of it is a coaching.
Oh, completely.
Because all you have left is Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin. Who's the other senior longtime coach?
There really isn't.
Then you have to put Jim Harbaugh in there. Look what he's done in one season.
Jim Harbaugh's this is 1 year.
I know, but he already
was there
coached. He's a more seasoned, experienced head coach, is what I'm saying. Look what he's done in like 5 minutes at the Chargers.
Yeah, they just won again last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's shitty coaching out there. This next generation of coaches, I'm not sold that they know what the hell's going on.
That's why it drives me crazy when they say, "Oh, there's 3 aspects of football: offense, defense, and special teams." It's like, no, there's 4. It's coaching also. Coaching's just as big as the offense, the defense, and special teams. You can't overcome a crappy coach. Look at San Diego all those years with what's it, your boy Staley or whatever his
Oh
name was.
God,
He was horrible.
Still have a job.
I hope not. That guy was
Brandon
terrible.
Staley,
Yeah.
absolute one of the worst head coaches ever. You have a question here. How good are the Chiefs this year?
Well, the reason I asked that is because there's all these people saying, "Oh, are they gonna go undefeated this year?"
I don't
Well, their
know.
schedule actually is very favorable the rest of the year. They got like a lot of very weak games, but I don't. To me, I don't know if Detroit played them right now, I'd take Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's playing well,
Yeah.
even though they lost Hutchinson.
Yeah,
Just
but
terrible.
Hutchinson says he can come back.
I know.
Well, Rodgers said that last year.
Yeah.
If we make a deep run in the playoffs, I'm coming back.
That was a nasty injury. I saw that.
Maybe Hutchinson's doing like Russell Wilson, rehabbing for 19 hours a day.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody? He set the standard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the Chiefs are that good, but why wouldn't they be? I mean, Patrick Mahomes continues to just wow everybody.
He's not having that great of a year.
No, but he still wins.
Yeah, they're winning.
And he pulls it out when he has to pull it out.
He makes big plays when they need him to make big plays.
And Kelsey finally had a big game, even though everyone's writing him off.
He hadn't been doing anything all year.
No, but they hadn't thrown the ball to him. They got Worthy. They just made a big trade. They got DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, how do they do that?
I don't know. What do we trade for?
Yeah, we never do.
We traded for a paper bag and a left shoe.
I contend that the Chiefs are not nearly as good as their record this year. We'll see. I could be wrong, but they just don't seem like it to me.
All right, let's just quickly get this WNBA news out. And
is there WNBA news?
There is, which I actually was shocked.
Does it have anything to do with Caitlin Clark?
Of course it does.
Well, yeah.
All the world revolves around CC.
Well, it does in the WNBA.
It does. Christy Sides, who was the head coach of the Indiana Fever, if you're not following along.
If you're living under a rock.
Yeah. She was let go. She was fired. You're fired!
How do you feel about that?
I actually kind of think it was a raw move.
The raw move or wrong move?
The wrong and raw and just I don't get it because at first she was taking a lot of shit. She had all these new players. She had all these, she had Caitlin Clark, the greatest player of all time, right? She had to figure it out. She figured out the lineup. I have to give her a big credit because she did a great job of figuring out the sauce and she got them into the playoffs for the first time in like 10 years.
Well, what's more impressive is they started out 1-8.
Yes, and she had a shitty
got
record.
In the playoffs at 1-8.
Yes.
They only played 40 games.
Why fire her?
A lot of the year I thought, well, P. Dougie wanted her fired the whole year, right? One of our previous producers was calling.
We really run through the producers.
We do.
Is that
we're tough?
We're
tough on our people.
Anyway.
I know P. Dougie wanted her. A lot of the year I would look at
the first part.
I would want her fired too. No, even the second part because they'd have a 20-point lead and every time she would somehow blow it. So I don't know what she was doing.
Okay, so you think it was a fair fire?
I don't think it was fair. I'm neutral on it. I was a lot of times during the year I thought she should be fired. So
I
would like to know why. I would like to know what their reasoning was.
Well, speaking of P. Dougie, the Connecticut Sun, who got far, they parted ways with their coach. Now, she sounded like she kind of left on her own accord.
But for some reason, people are saying she's like the leading candidate to get that Indiana Fever job.
P. Dougie thinks it's Cheryl Miller.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any. Has Cheryl Miller been coaching? I mean, I know
she coached the All-Star.
Yeah, she coached.
And she used to coach the Suns.
A long time ago.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
That's Reggie's sister, by the way.
Thank you. So the real story is that Caitlin Clark is they show all kind of clips of her working out over the summer. She's going to be a bad woman next year. She is going to come unleashed next year. I can't wait. I'm excited for WNBA.
Well, you got a little ways to go.
I know. All right, we're going to take a break and then it's bonus time, don't you think?
It is.
All right.
Yep.
Hey, you still listening? Because we're back.
And we're back.
We're back. Bonus material.
Bonus time.
In the what you watching category, I got to give you some props.
Thank you.
You all right?
Yeah, always.
Jesus. You gave Mindy and I the best tip of all time to watch that.
I give you not this is many best tips of all time. No.
Don't freaking dislocate your arm.
You give me what was it, Cobra Kai, and I give you this.
Cobra Kai was good for the first couple of series. Okay, so you hit us with what's it called?
Nobody wants this.
Oh my God, you guys! Anybody listening? It's on Netflix. Nobody Wants This is hysterical, and they're only like 23-minute episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Hysterical.
It's my life,
and it's
the biography.
It's got a lot of Jewish stuff in there.
It's the biography of Aaron and I's life.
Yeah.
Did she tell you that when she was over here?
Yeah. She's a shiksa.
Shiksa. God, no one can say it right.
It's hard to say.
Is it?
Yes.
Why is it not hard
for me? It just doesn't really go with the American vocabulary.
She's a shiksa.
Shiksa.
It just rolls off the tongue. Shiksa.
Well, Mindy's a shikska.
She's a
Shiska.
Wow.
What is it called? If I'm half Jewish, then she's a shiska.
It's a shiksa.
Shiksa.
Good
shiksa.
Grief.
God, that's a Shonda.
We're crying in the night, man.
So anyway,
shiksa.
You got to watch.
She's a goy.
A goy?
Yeah, non-Jew. Goyim.
An infidel.
No.
Isn't that a non-Jew?
Goy. It's the Yiddish word is goy. Goyim.
So anyway.
Great
Must
show.
watch.
Great
Hilarious.
show.
You'll binge watch like 10 episodes.
It's fantastic.
Hysterical.
What's also coming out? Well, there's Slow Horses out right now.
Oh, I don't. Slow Horses
exactly. Too slow.
It was way too.
Bullshit.
The name is perfect. It's like slow as.
You know what?
Be. That one was a bad.
No,
tip.
that's on you.
No,
that is on you.
So no matter what I don't like, it's on me.
Of course.
You can give me the worst recommendation ever. That's on me. I'm giving you props for the other one.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'll take it. And then I'll give you shit for not liking Slow Horses. The other one that's coming back shortly that's fantastic is The Diplomat.
Oh, yes. That is good.
Kerry Russell. I heard
there's another one on Apple that's coming back. Shrinking.
Well, Shrinking's fantastic. Did I give you that tip?
No, I think we figured that out on our own.
Oh, well,
but that was a great one.
Did you get it?
That's Harrison Ford, and
so good. Yeah, what you watching?
So I
got so much to watch. I can't even keep up with it.
But I do have another trivia question.
Yeah,
could be the best trivia question.
What's with you in the trivia questions?
I just had a lot of them today. It's been a while. Okay, let me.
Have I gotten any right? No.
No, and you may not get this one.
I'm not. You went to trivia night with me one time. Did I answer anything correctly? No, I didn't.
Your wife's very good at it, though.
Is she?
I don't know.
You claim to be good. You kind of dissed us.
I don't claim to be.
Yeah, you do. You claim to be the best.
No, I definitely don't.
You had a posture.
So anyway, trivia question: how many? And you don't have time to go through them all, so we don't have like an hour for you to think about every one of them. But how many Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks are in the NFL Hall of Fame?
Jesus, man. I have no idea. Let me see. There's 58 things for what Super Bowl we in? 54?
58.
58? Okay. How many Heisman?
Heisman, yes.
10.
The answer would be 1.
Are you kidding me?
1. That's why it's such a great question.
1? No way.
I'm telling you.
That's got to be wrong.
No, I fact-checked it myself.
Who is it?
It's also the richest NFL player of all time.
Dallas Cowboys. Starbuck.
Roger Staubach. Won the Heisman Trophy in like the 60s with Navy. Also won a bunch of Super Bowl, went to a bunch of Super Bowls, won a few. A couple at least. Drafted in the 10th round.
The future answer to that question is 2 because Brock Purdy. Oh wait, he didn't win the Heisman.
He didn't win the Heisman.
But he's a Hall of Famer.
Now there's kind of a catch to that. Paul Hornung won the Heisman, but won the Heisman as a quarterback, but he's in the NFL Hall of Fame as a running back. So
I still can't believe one.
One.
I thought my 10 was a decent guess.
I know. That's why I said you don't have time to go through them all. Don't think I would. I knew Staubach caught it, but I would have probably guessed 5.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bad at trivia.
There
You're
you
welcome.
go.
Okay, I'd like to thank all the guests we
Are we done?
didn't get. Or you got anything else?
Nope. I think we're done.
I mean, we have so much more material we could have gotten.
Oh,
into.
we could have gone. Yeah, I have things on my list we didn't get to.
What did we didn't get to?
No, that's all right. Well,
didn't we get to? No, I'm curious.
Let's
say okay. No, we got to
actually
everything.
we did.
We got to everything.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hope to have producer Mark back.
We
next
need Mark
time.
to keep us in line.
Do we?
Plus, he needs to chime in and tell me I'm right when we're arguing.
He doesn't keep in line. You know what?
He tends to agree with me.
He agrees with you, which I don't like.
Thank you very much.
Number 2, he doesn't fact check anything.
Oh, he fact checks everything. What are you talking
well,
about?
Not things I need.
You're thinking of P. Dougie.
Oh, okay.
Mark fact checks.
All right. Well, he doesn't keep us in line. That's for sure.
You're just upset because he agrees with me.
I am upset. I'm going to continue to be
Thank
upset.
you.
I don't know when you're going to hear another episode, but a reminder: we are on.
We're gonna do one within a month.
Are we?
Oh yeah.
When are you back after you leave again?
The following week. So we could actually do one in a couple of weeks.
All right, that would be great. Again, thanks to all the guests we just couldn't get. Pete the Appraiser, we're still on the list for 26, and all the sponsors we never signed.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.